Hey, good morning, everybody. I just want to give you a quick word of encouragement, maybe help you out through today. I'm a truck driver, for those of y'all who've never seen any of my videos, and I was heading out to Oregon. I live in South Carolina, so it's cross country. Got to Wyoming, and the turbos went out on my truck. So I had 5 states of mountain climbing, pretty good mountain climbing through the Rockies to get this full load to drop in Oregon and Washington State. And it was a challenge. It was a really big challenge. And I just replaced these turbos a year earlier, so it was unforeseen, was unexpected, and it stretched me. It stretched me pretty good. I do my best to try to make sure I stay on top of the mechanical stuff on this truck so they don't end up broke down somewhere, because you can blow your whole life savings on a breakdown in a semi truck. So we're struggling through these mountains. I had over 20 climbs where I got below 18 miles an hour going up these mountains, and just questioning God. Sometimes I just don't understand the purpose or the point. And about halfway through Oregon, which was some of the worst I had to climb through, this passage came into my mind, which is one of the reasons why it's so important for us to put God's word in our head and in our heart, because that's our only offensive weapon against the attacks that come at us. But they're not always attacks. Sometimes they're challenges to help us grow closer to Him, to increase our faith, to help us learn how to rely and trust on Him. And this one came to me. It's from Chronicles, and the Lord is telling Israel that His eyes run to and forth throughout the whole earth, that He might show Himself mighty to those whose hearts are fully devoted to Him. And that hit me on this trip when we were talking about the whys these things happen, and the what fors, and how do we deal with this. And so we have two options, basically two options when these kind of things happen. We can get upset and start questioning why, and get downhearted and discouraged, or we can get encouraged by it. One of the books I'm reading, The Art of Divine Contentment, says that this is the closest to hell we as believers are ever going to get, is the problems that we go through in this life. And so that came into my mind. And so I'm having a really hard time getting over these mountains. Yeah, my engine could blow up at any minute because I'm just pushing it too hard. But you know what? I'm going to keep my heart fully devoted to You, Lord, because you're in control and You have a purpose for everything. And that's another passage that really came to my mind, is one in Romans 8, where He says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, to those who are the called according to His purpose. So those two passages together turned that whole incident into something that was for my betterment and for my good. Increased my faith and helped me to fully devote my heart to Him. And in the end, I not only got emptied out, but I got reloaded and got all the way back to South Carolina without blowing my engine up. So if you're going through some stuff today, let those two thoughts help you get through it. That He's in it for your good, if you love Him and if you belong to Him. If not, then it might be time to start thinking about that. That as if you don't know Him and you're not saved, this life is the closest to heaven you're ever going to get. And that's a scary thought. Bye, y'all.